What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus also the one who never knows best, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and specifically a little bit more about the Hulk and Black Panther, as they were the two latest characters revealed in the most recent Tokon Fighting Souls trailer that we got at EVO Japan, that they were part of the Avengers team, which Hulk, I think most of us saw coming. Black Panther was like a toss-up, like it was 50-50. I had Black Panther like kind of in the pool of characters that I was considering as potentially being part of that team. But the part that really caught us all off guard, whether you were expecting Black Panther or not, is that instead of T'Challa, it's Shuri. Now, in my reaction video, there's so many things I want to talk about in this video. There's a blog post that we're going to get to, but before we even get to that, I got a couple other things I got to get off my chest first, okay? We'll start off like this. Obviously, when it comes to the Incredible Hulk, not a very Lotus Asakura kind of character when it comes to fighting games, right? You know, I watched the Hulk movie back in like 2004 or whenever it was, thought it was cool, you know what I'm saying? Cool character. Not my style when it comes to fighting games. Black Panther is a character that I'm not overly attached to or invested in because I've never even watched the MCU movies, let alone reading the comics. And that's going to be the case for most characters in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, because I'm just not a big Marvel head. Not that I dislike it, I've just never really consumed a lot of the content, you know what I'm saying? Despite that, still very much looking forward to the game. We've talked about this multiple times. I just want it to be made known and clear that I'm never going to pretend to be a comic book expert, anything like that, you know what I'm saying? So even with Black Panther and with Shuri, while I wasn't like blown away and like jumping off the walls for her character, she looked pretty cool to me. Honestly speaking, because I'm not super deeply invested in a lot of these characters, you know, my judgment, my interest, my excitement basically comes off like their overall like visual design and their gameplay, you know what I mean? Some of these characters I obviously do know a little bit about. Like I've seen some X-Men stuff, I have seen a couple of Marvel movies, but most of them I haven't, you know what I'm saying? And I've never read a comic book. That being said, just based off visual design and gameplay, Black Panther is probably the second most exciting or like interesting character to me personally so far in this game, behind Wolverine. Like those are the top two characters I would say I'm interested in, and I'll probably end up playing them both at this rate. I guess it still depends based on the final 6 characters that get revealed in this game, which will probably be happening in the next month or two, because we got a lot of events coming up between Combo Breaker, EVO Vegas, Summer Games Fest. We got 2 more teams left to go and multiple events for them to pop out at. Most likely it'd be at Combo Breaker and EVO, but maybe they'll throw something in at Summer Games Fest to try to, you know, reach more of that like non-FGC audience who are maybe Marvel fans that might be interested in the game. I don't know. Regardless, Shuri as Black Panther as opposed to T'Challa came as a surprise, but a welcome one to me. Like I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was pretty cool because, you know, I know of T'Challa. I know Chadwick Boseman obviously played him in the Black Panther movie, and then I believe in the second movie, again I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, you know, it was Shuri. I know, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. And then, you know, the new Black Panther was crowned in Shuri. Made sense to me. However, this apparently is extremely controversial and has been a hot topic of discussion and the center of a lot of discourse that I've been seeing across social media, whether that be in Twitch chats, whether that be all over Twitter, or even in my own comment section. If you go and look at the comments of that video, there's a handful of comments where I'm looking at them kind of sideways because I'm like, okay, at first I wanted to take a step back because I was trying to discern, like, are some of these people, you know, just really big Black Panther fans that have like a personal connection or attachment to T'Challa as the character, and, you know, maybe they just really love those movies and fell in love with Chadwick Boseman's performance, and they, you know what I'm saying, that there's some sort of something going on there. Maybe Black Panther's one of their favorite characters and they really grew up with like this comic or that comic, and so they just really wanted T'Challa. Maybe. But I kind of doubt it for most people. To be completely honest, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It is what it is. You can call me performative, you can call me woke, you can say whatever you want. I really don't give a fuck, okay? Keep it a thou wow. It's giving misogyny. It's giving sexism. The majority of the comments and the remarks that I'm seeing about this just seems like it's coming from incels who hate women. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. You know, like it just is what it is. I ain't even trying to be all, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's just, I can't really see it any other way. And I don't really understand like how we in 2026 people be upset when it's Black people or women, let alone Black women in their games, but like, get over it. And again, if you're one of those people who's just like, nah man, I just really love T'Challa, like I grew up reading the Black Panther comics, I had so much fun watching the MC movies in theater, like I was there, I saw it 20 times, then obviously I'm not talking to you, okay? If the shoe don't fit, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Keep it pushing. But for the rest of y'all, you being weird. You being mad weird. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not no comic book expert. I'm not no super big Marvel head, right? So at first I was like, well, maybe this is no, because frankly, I mean, it's not like I had never heard of Black Panther before, but The PR done went sky high since the MCU movies. I'm sure some of y'all out there grew up reading some Black Panther comics and was familiar with the characters. Some of y'all, but most of y'all, at least on this channel, I know damn well you ain't never spoke about Black Panther, consumed a Black Panther nothing prior to the movie. And that's fine. That's fine, but let's just not pretend. Let's just not pretend. Anyway, now that I got that off my chest, I feel a bit better. We can get into this blog post, okay? Hulk and Black Panther join the fight for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I, for one, will be looking forward to trying out Shuri in the game. That's just me, though. And of course, she looks sick. Like, she looks sick. Like, the design is fire. Like, people pretend to, maybe I'm not done. Maybe I'm not. Because, you know, I've seen people talk about, like, oh, they're trying to erase T'Challa. Like, ever since, you know, Chadwick Boseman passed, they acting like he doesn't exist and this. And I'm like, bro, they acted like he's never been in any game. Meanwhile, T'Challa is the Black Panther in like every Marvel game I could ever think of that has released. Like, as far as I'm aware, this is the first fighting game ever that Shuri's been playable in, and maybe like the second or third Marvel game ever if you include mobile games, which really don't count. Like, if you look at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Marvel Avengers, Marvel Rivals, like every like big Marvel game that I can think of, it all has T'Challa. Like, God forbid for once Shuri's in the game. Like, I don't know. Anyway, okay, now I'm actually done. Anyway, back to the blog post. Fighting Avengers Squad revealed new Wakanda stage debuts, which look pretty dope, and a new threat teased. Hello everyone, I'm Takeshi Yamanaka, producer of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Today at EVO Japan 2026 in Tokyo, we revealed our third team to join the Challenge of the Champion Fighting Avengers. Be sure to check out the new team reveal trailer below, which we've already taken a look at. Not gonna play the trailer again in this video. You guys can feel free to check that out on your own time. New team joins the battle, Fighting Avengers. Joining the previously announced Captain America, voiced by Brian Bloom, and Iron Man, voiced by Josh Keaton, are Hulk, voiced by Fred Tatasciore, and Black Panther, voiced by Erica Luttrell, forming the brand new team, the Fighting Avengers. Led by Captain America, this newly formed Avenger squad comes together to confront a new threat facing Earth as heroes watched closely and admired greatly by people around the world. We hope you're looking forward to seeing how they rise to the challenge in episode mode. Also, new stage revealed, Wakanda, looks very, very cool. We're also excited to announce a brand new stage, Wakanda. Wakanda is a nation located in Africa, blessed with rich natural landscapes while also standing as a global leader in advanced scientific technology. Traditionally protected by its king, the Black Panther, Wakanda is now ruled by the young Black Panther Shuri, who has taken on the mantle to defend her people. We mentioned this in the video, the reaction video, but I believe in Storm's bio, matter of fact, can I find it? But I'm pretty sure in Storm's bio, they mentioned something about T'Challa being slain, and I think it was either by the hand or like from an order from Dr. Doom, because they also have some sort of special dialogue. So let me see if I can find that real quick. All right, I can't find exactly what I was looking for, but I was able to find here. You can see when Doom and T'Challa, Doom and T'Challa. Also, I guess I should probably move my camera real quick. I'll just hide myself for now. But you can see when Storm and Doom fight each other, Storm starts off saying, "Doom, I will not forgive or forget what you have done to T'Challa." I forget what Doom says in response, but let's see if it's relevant. Such sentimentality, I let him live. You should thank Doom for his generosity. Okay, so I thought maybe he had been killed. Maybe he's just like incapacitated in some form or fashion. But regardless, it seems like Shuri had to take over the mantle. So that's how they wrote it in the game. Again, not a huge deal to me, but it just is what it is. But that is the lore. Then you have new playable character Hulk, a green Goliath whose strength grows with his rage. Hulk once fought alongside the Avengers to save the world. However, in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, his overwhelming power and instability led the government SHIELD and even his fellow teammates Captain America and Iron Man to exile him to the Savage Land. Now, interestingly enough, I saw some controversy around this as well. This one a little bit more seems just like comic book nerds being comic book nerds and not just like misogyny. But even still, I was just like, it just seems like it's getting blown out of proportion. There were some people that I saw that were upset about like the treatment of Hulk or like him being like exiled or whatever, which I mean, from what I've heard from like homies I have who actually like read comics and like have seen these movies and stuff, like Hulk has done some pretty like deplorable things throughout his character's lifespan that are worthy of being exiled. And so it kind of makes sense. And then even like in the game, like they had like his illustration like in the cave or whatever, and like there were hints that made it seem like this was going to be the version of Hulk that we got, like somebody who had been outcast and like maybe he's on like a road to redemption. I don't really know the full story obviously in the game, but yeah, we're getting Savage Hulk, and I mean, yeah, he looks pretty cool to me. Like I said, not a character that I'm probably going to play, but regardless, there Hulk lives a quiet life surrounded by nature and animals, but his distrust of the Avengers has yet to fade. During development, Hulk's backstory was established early on. While staying true to the core design concept of a massive, gamma-radiated powerhouse, elements inspired by this narrative were incorporated into his design. Hulk adorns himself with dinosaur bone armor torn force? Bone armor tore in force his feral, untamed... I'm not familiar. Hold on, we about to Google this in real time. What on earth is this word? Is this like a comic book word? Is this a real word? No, it's to reinforce. It's just a typo. There's just no space here. Hulk adorns himself with dinosaur bone armor to reinforce his feral, untamed fighting style and highlight his raw power. Hulk can overpower opponents at any range with sheer force. Channeling his anger builds his unique gamma gauge. When it reaches maximum, Hulk enters gamma rage, which significantly boosts his strength and speed. Build up the gamma gauge and unleash devastating one-shot attacks at just the right moment to deal massive damage. Now, when you say we're not getting TOD'd off one hit, right? No, it says deal massive damage, so surely we're not dying. You're just gonna feel like you're dying. New playable character, Black Panther. Ruler of the great African nation of Wakanda, Shuri protects her country as the Black Panther. Having only recently inherited the mantle, she struggles with doubts about whether she is truly ready for the role. As a new threat approaches, Shuri must make critical decisions not only as a warrior, but as a queen who must balance tradition and progress. When we decided to include her in the roster, her character backstory was discussed and established early on. Having only recently taken up the mantle of Black Panther alongside her existing role of Wakanda's chief scientist, Shuri's design reflects this important transition. Sleek, athletic lines emphasize a sense of speed befitting an acrobatic fighter while preserving the primal wildness that defines the role. At the same time, subtle touches of Wakandan royalty are woven into the finer details of her suit, reflecting the weight of leadership she now carries. In combat, Black Panther excels with swift movement and long reach using the Spear of Bashenga. She possesses a high-speed mobility skill called Beast Blessing, allowing her to dash in multiple directions. Oh wait, no, not Beast Blessing, Bast Blessing. Bast Blessing consumes a dedicated gauge, but it can be cancelled from normal attacks and skills, enabling varied and flexible combos and mix-ups. Dominate mid-range battles with precise spear attacks, and close the distance with lightning-fast movement to overwhelm opponents up close. Now, I tend to play characters in fighting games that are usually on the quicker side or have like unique movement options. I hate being slow in fighting games, as I've said so many times, y'all know that. Something that's underrated that I really enjoyed, and I don't really think I realized how much I enjoy it until Guilty Gear Strive came out, is like having like that mid-range game, you know what I'm saying? Just someone who like performed, like I value neutral and characters with strong neutral, but usually a lot of that comes in the way of movement for me. But just having good buttons as well and just a decent amount of range is something that like I never really appreciated or like just utilized, I guess, until I played like Ramlethal and Guilty Gear, which I know. But yeah, Ramlethal with her giant sword, I was like, hold up, this is kind of nice. Because she's not the norm in terms of like gameplay of the type of character I would usually play. But I really enjoyed her playstyle and her gameplay a lot. Anyway, new threat revealed. Oh, they just straight up revealed this. So this has been my theory. If you guys have been listening on stream and watching my videos, I might have mentioned it once or twice, but I theorized from the beginning that the main antagonist of this game was going to be the champion. Again, yeah, but wait, I thought you didn't read comics, so don't you watch movies? Well, I think I've talked about this before. I did some research. I learned about a lot of different characters, read a lot of Wikipedia articles, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, because when, like, I guess a couple of months ago at this point, I was planning on doing a big roster prediction video, and I got so invested on like trying to make it so like proper and research and like do my due diligence that it just ultimately became like bigger than it really needed to be, to the point where I just kind of let myself get overwhelmed and ultimately never put the video out. But the champion was a character that I expected to be, just because of like, you know, his personality with wanting to be the strongest and basically just kind of being like a perfect Cell kind of figure, right? Where it's like he just wants to like battle other strong people and just like prove his own strength and everything like that. And then also with like the blue skin and then like the gold gauntlets, and while the silhouette and the design that we've seen in the game doesn't look like the design that we've seen like traditionally like in the comics with how he normally looks, I figured that it made sense for it to be him just based off the certain things that were there that I was able to point out, you know, visually, and just kind of like the hints that they were giving, and just like the whole concept. But it seems like it's like a tournament kind of thing going on. Like it just made sense. It just made sense, right? But I didn't think that we had gotten actual confirmation of that, but I guess this is confirmation. And now that I'm looking at this image, the challenge of the champion, which I just didn't take note of this in the actual trailer. I really didn't notice. So yeah, the latest trailer also introduced a new character, the champion. One of the elders of the universe, Champion has existed since the birth of the universe and travels the cosmos alongside his right-hand showwoman, promoter. A cosmic conqueror obsessed with hand-to-hand combat, he journeys from planet to planet in search of worthy opponents. Those who fail to satisfy his thirst for battle face the ultimate consequence, the destruction of their entire world. And now his next target has been chosen, Earth. Under Promoter's direction, the Challenge of the Champion tournament has been announced. Teams of 4 will battle through qualifiers, earning the right to face Champion himself. But is there more to this sinister game than just sport? The Fighting Avengers enter the tournament as one of its leading contenders. More details about Champion will be revealed soon. So I can only assume that he will be a playable character. I guess it'd be kind of weird, especially in this day and age, if he wasn't playable. So that would lead me to believe that he's potentially going to be on Doctor Doom's team, because I think the developers also confirmed. I don't know if it's here in this well, let's just keep reading and we'll circle back around. What's next? Did you enjoy the hands-on demo at Evo Japan? Thank you so much for all your feedback. I wish. We truly appreciate it and is already helping shape development. Next up, we'll be bringing the newest playable build to Combo Breaker 2026 starting May 22nd in Chicago, and Hong Kong Comic Con 2026 starting May 29th in Hong Kong. The build will include the newly announced Black Panther and the Wakanda stage for a total of 13 playable characters in 5 stages. If you're attending either event, be sure to stop by and try it for yourself. Development is entering its final stages and the entire team is working hard every day to deliver the best possible experience at launch. Thank you as always for your continued support. We'll have more news to share soon. Okay, so they didn't mention it here. Somebody in my chat told me that they did confirm that the Doctor Doom team is going to be a villainous team, and the Ghost Rider team or Robbie Reyes team is going to be more of like a dark heroes kind of team. Also interesting to note, circling back to like the whole like Shuri controversy just a tiny little bit and the Hulk stuff, I don't see nobody upset about Ghost Rider being Robbie Reyes as opposed to Johnny. So I mean, you know, if they pick and choose, they pick and choose. Regardless, however, I can only assume that Champion is going to be a playable character, and it only makes sense that he would be on Doctor Doom's team, which leaves 2 more slots. Now, the other thing worth noting that a lot of you guys who are much more eagle-eyed than myself and also would be able to notice these Easter eggs being bigger comic book fans is that in the trailer, and that matter of fact, I will actually pull it up. I guess we can just go back here. Let me just go back to the blog post because the trailer is here already for us. Anyway, but at the very end of the trailer, you'll notice that on this screen right here, right, it flashes green. And if we go back, can I still go frame by frame here, even when we're playing here? All right, so boom, I got it pulled up here in full screen and everything. So you see like this flash of green, and then you'll notice there's some hints here, some Easter eggs that are shown. So you see like these claw marks going through like which team will assemble next. You see Spider-Man's face scratched out, and you see 361 written a bunch of times over here off to the left. Now, I would have never known this, right? But apparently this is alluding to the potential of Carnage being added as a playable character into the game, because his first debut was in Spider-Man issue 361. So everyone's thinking that this could be Carnage. There's also a chance, I guess, of this being like Green Goblin or like Red Goblin or something along those lines. But yeah, it seems very likely based off these hints that the next character, or sorry, not the next character, but one of the characters will in fact be Carnage. Well, it very well may be the villain team that gets shown next, and it could be Champion, Carnage, and then I'm kind of pulling for Magneto. I think that'd be dope. I think it would fit. I would love to see another X-Men character. I think a lot of people really want Magneto in the game, so that would be my pick. That would be my pick. Now, some people were telling me that Magneto's not really a villain. He's more of like an anti-hero, or like, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Maybe even Dude Aragonus. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, ain't no expert over here. But yeah, there is that. Beyond that though, when it comes to the Robbie team, so obviously Midnight Suns was like the speculation for most people, myself included. We were thinking characters along the lines of like Blade, maybe. Nico as well is another character that I kind of like predicted originally, like in my roster prediction video. I think could be cool. Man-Thing is another one that I was thinking maybe, especially since they're always trying to go for like these oddball picks. And I think it would check out right with the villains team, because I think Champion himself is like the weirdo pick, or like the standout pick of like, you know, I don't know of any games that Champion's been playable in before. And then when you get to like the Midnight Suns, it's like, you know, Blade would be cool. He's in Marvel Rivals. Obviously, we've already got Ghost Rider, and then Nico would be different, but so would Man-Thing. So like, I don't know. There's a bunch of different avenues I could go with that. Other characters that I had potentially in the spot were like Moon Knight or Elsa Bloodstone, Wanda, Dr. Voodoo. But I think I'm gonna go that the Doom team is Doom, Champion, Magneto, Carnage, and then for the Robbie Reyes team, we're gonna say is Ghost Rider. I'm going Blade. I'm gonna go Nico, and I'm going Man-Thing. Those are my predictions. We'll see how it shapes up. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all this content left and I'll bring you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. Remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.